It's the Bryan and Vinny Show here. It's March 17, 2022. Figure4online.com/WrestlingObserver.com. Well, I want to start off by saying I want to thank everybody who has sent in all sorts of great songs for that bumper music thing that I suggested. And I want to make it abundantly clear I don't think that they're bad songs. But as I listen to all of them, it's just, I don't know, I can't get into it.
All right.
You know why? Yeah, it's weird.
Not enough
Because
blues?
the songs we got kind of suck.
Okay.
I mean, the ones we've been playing for the last several years.
All right.
But I've been playing them so long, it's like they're part of the show. It's like when you listen to those old Art Bell shows. I know everyone knows I grew up an Art Bell fan. And I didn't listen to any other radio, only Art Bell. And he played the same fucking songs from the 70s. You know how many times I heard that fucking song from ABBA? God damn, and it's a horrible song.
A lot.
But you know what? It was like, that was part of the show. So, you know, if he would have come back when he did a serious show and started playing like current top 40, it would have been fucking horrible.
Sure.
Even if the songs were good. But that's just not the vibe. So, I just can't, maybe I'll play them all in a show one day and let you guys think about it. But for some reason, like, this show is just, it's all about these shitty songs to open it up. You know what I mean?
Yes. It set that bar low, keep expectations at a reasonable level, and still under-deliver. That's what we do.
See, John here says, I said this last time, and Brian said people hate change. Well. Well, I mean, yes, in general, people hate change, but I don't hate change. But, and I realize that this is change that I'm complaining about, but there's something about it that just wasn't working for me. It's the wrong vibe for the show. This show has a certain vibe to it that you're not going to get on any other shows. You know what I mean?
I do.
Yeah, the Filthy Four song, the Filthy Four Daily song is fucking perfect for that show. Mm. And Lance has got his show. It's his fucking show. He can do whatever song he wants. You know, but man, and they're not bad. None of them are bad. They're like all in a vacuum great songs. But playing them at the beginning of this show is just weird. Am I wrong? Here, listen.
Okay.
I'll just do a random one. There's a whole bunch on here, so don't take this seriously like whoever made this song, like I'm saying that your song sucks. But let's pretend we're starting over again. Listen.
From the Figure 4 Online Studios in beautiful Bothell, Washington, exclusively at WrestlingObserver.com, you're listening to the Bryan and Vinny Show with your hosts, Brian Alvarez and Big Vinny V.
Could I be any more of an idiot? Jesus fucking Christ.
I think it's funny somebody actually turned that in and tried to see if you noticed it was the same song.
From the Figure 4 Online Studios in beautiful Bothell, Washington, exclusively at WrestlingObserver.com, you're listening to the Bryan and Vinny Show with your hosts, Brian Alvarez and Big Vinny V.
Excellent. Put them to sleep so they miss the show.
This one's got words.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
We are the whole sum of all that's come and gone. It's more than complex, not just chord and flex. It shuffles the deck for the necklace one. But just keeping score.
See, that's like a real song.
What's that with us?
Well, it's not about whether it has to do with us. It's just like, that's a real song. That's a good song.
Okay.
But when you play that after the deep voice man, it just doesn't seem right for this show. It's like, what?
That's not good.
What is that?
It's not good bumper music.
No, none of this. Like all of them, it seems weird. Like I'm expecting to hear, I'm expecting to hear, which just fucking sucks.
I would never play this in the car or anything.
No, you never play this anywhere else, but it fits with this fucking show. You know, someone else goes, how come Dave doesn't have a bumper music? I don't know if you guys remember, but for a short period of time, his show did.
Okay.
Boy, was that hated. Oh, was that hated. It's like the Dave show, no music fits. It's just, it needs to be a cold open with me saying Wrestling Observer Radio.
All right.
Anyway, I want to thank everybody. Steph notes here, I've written for MSNBC, Duck Dynasty, Animal Planet, NBC. If I get rejected by Brian, I'm going to cry in a corner. Bro, I'm sure your song in a vacuum is absolutely fucking awesome. But I'm not sure it's going to fit as a bumper for this fucking shitty show. Right?
Right.
Let's do this fucking reviews.
Okay, then. We watched AEW Dynamite, St. Patrick's Day Slam.
Oh, man, I got an air fryer today.
And what do you mean?
I don't want to waste any more time.
Okay.
But I got a deluxe. It does air frying, pressure cooking,
Oh, wow.
broiler,
Okay.
and sous vide, whatever that fucking
Sous vide.
whatever they do with eggs. I'm gonna use that one. But anyway,
You can't do steak with it too, by the
so
way.
I got one of these, and of course the first thing I made was French fries for Paisley.
Sure.
because she was
That's the first thing I made with mine.
yeah determined. But
They were great.
See, she likes French fries, and she doesn't have a very much of a diet.
Yeah.
Unlike Hanalei, who literally will eat tree bark. I mean, she'll eat fucking anything on this planet. Like, you could say, hey, I'm having some, octopus. You want to try some? She'll go, sure, and she'll eat it. Meanwhile, Paisley won't even try a cheese quesadilla. But anyway, so I think I gotta be able to get like potatoes. So I bought I bought a thing that I'm gonna be able to make my own fries out of an actual potato.
Okay.
So literally, she'll just be eating a potato.
Right.
But you shape them into French fries and you air fry them, so they're not gonna kill you,
Exactly.
right? But anyway, so I made fries for her, and then man, I put a fillet
Okay.
in that fucking broiler.
Uh-huh.
Holy shit, was that fucking good! I haven't even scratched the surface with this machine.
No, you have not.
But so far, man,
You do all sorts of great things.
I walked out of the door of that Costco and the lady goes, I have the same one, and I love it. I'd already bought it, so she wasn't trying to sell me anything.
I see.
She was just putting it over. But anyway, you might be hearing more about food on this show coming up here pretty soon as I figure out ribs. Tomorrow I'm going to make,
I want to do ribs in the air fryer.
you know what I'm going to do tomorrow? I'm going to cook up some 80-20 grass-fed hamburger meat.
I've done that in the air fryer. That works out well.
I'm gonna put some cheese.
Okay.
Then I'm gonna get the old low carb tortillas. I'm gonna roll them up.
Okay.
I'm gonna put them in that fucking air fryer. I'm gonna make taco time crisp beef burritos.
I have not tried that.
Oh, that's the first thing I thought, brother.
I made okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I've put the just the hamburger patty in the air fryer. Works out great. And you just
Gonna try that one too.
throw it on, take it out, throw it on a bun, cheese, burger, boom.
I've heard of ovens, B.A. Charles. I know what a fucking oven is. I got a grill. Thinking of putting a fucking indoor grill in the house while I'm at it. Once I found that grill in Hawaii, that gas grill.
An indoor grill, you say?
Yeah.
That's a fantastic idea.
Oh, tell me about it. I got ideas. Anyway, let's move on.
We watched AEW Dynamite St. Patrick's Day Slam, March 16th, 2022. It opens with Adam Cole and Red Dragon versus Hangman Page and Jurassic Express in the party match. Speaking of food, whoever it was in San Antonio that had the sign, they're eating flour tortillas greater than corn tortillas.
It definitely wasn't Ed.
I agree.
He looks like a corn tortilla eater if I ever saw one.
I can't imagine.
He ain't eating those low-carb tortillas.
I was going to mention that I can't imagine being too picky about that. But then I remember the time we actually ate dinner in a Mexican restaurant. He did not have black beans. Like, dude, black beans are delicious. How can you not have black beans? He doesn't like black beans. So we had our party match here. They ran wild. They did a bunch of stuff. There's a triple moonsault. There's the heels are doing the lucha stampede, where you got a guy in the corner, you just take turns running at him. And I know they're taking turns because when it was Kyle O'Reilly's turn, he's running at the guy shouting, "My turn, my turn, my turn." So there's the Doomsday device. The first time Jurassic Express tries it is foiled and turned into a heel hook. And the teammates have to fight to eventually break it up and save Lucha's leg. And then it leaves her just hitting a double Doomsday device instead. But it's all to no avail. Eventually, Red Dragon catches Jungle Boy in a high-low. And Adam Cole hits him with a boom and pins him.
Yeah, sometimes I watch these matches and I just got nothing really to say. What do you want me to do? Just read a list of moves? Like, the overarching story is that this match was a fucking ton of fun.
Yep.
I had the time of my life watching it for 10 minutes or whatever. The finish was meaningful. They pinned Jungle Boy, who was one half of the tag team champions. It looks like they're going to be doing Red Dragon getting a tag team championship match. It also looks like Adam Cole is going to be having a rematch with Adam Page here sometime soon.
Yes.
Which probably is going to be on whatever day they advertise the next Battle of the Belts. In fact, you should actually do both those. Those
are, in fact, belts.
Yeah, both those matches on that night. The tag team matches with Red Dragon and the singles match with Adam Cole.
So I guess in one way they killed two birds with one stone here because Cole got a win and Jungle Boy got a loss. But you would think to build to a title match, you would have either Fish or Riley get the pin. But everything will work out. It's fine. The match was a lot of fun.
Anton, no, I do not expect Adam Cole to win that title from Hangman Page. I've been wrong before, but I just don't see it happen.
I also want to add that after Jungle Boy got pinned, the match was over and his team had lost. Hangman was so bummed. He sold this loss so great. He hates this Adam Cole
Dude, this
fella.
fucking Hangman was so over in this town.
Yeah.
My God, that guy tagged in and they fucking lost their minds. There was a shoot cowboy in the ring here in San Antonio. Man.
Tony Schiavone is interviewing Keith Lee, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Ricky Starks. So it's Lee versus Max Caster from the Acclaimed on Rampage, but they're not here. It's Ricky Starks instead. Warning, Lee, don't show up on my show and think you could run things. I've told you not to do that. You decided to do things anyway, and we whipped your ass. If you show up on Friday, the same thing will happen. And Keith Lee smirks and says the same thing, like when I punched you in the face and you laid on the mat like a bitch. I'll see you Friday. So there's trouble brewing. We had a video of Chris Statlander where she took out her wacky contact and wiped off her makeup.
You know, she's a great wrestler.
Okay.
And I've never been into the alien thing. I know she's not really an alien. Like, the gimmick is not that she's fucking from Andromeda.
No,
I mean, they say that, but like...
She is an alien the same way Bret Hart was a hitman.
Yes,
it's just
exactly.
a nickname, it's a gimmick.
But, I mean, the alien thing is not adding anything. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, you know, I'm not saying Papa Shango was any good. I shouldn't even compare it to Papa Shango.
That's a terrible analogy.
But, I mean, you know, his gimmick, you know, without a voodoo gimmick, he was, the Supreme Fighting Machine or whatever.
Yeah.
That fucking sucked. At least you're a voodoo master. There's something to it. Whereas, like, with this, it's like this adds nothing to her character that she boops people. So, I think it's time that she just drops the gimmick and just goes and beats some ass.
I guess that's you're going to get your way here. Speaking of beating ass, Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley versus Wheeler Yuta and Chuck Taylor. William Regal comes out with his men, but then joins the announce desk. Oh, what a delight. Just what AEW needed, another brilliant announcer. They need like 8 shows just so their announcers all get enough time. But he sits down, and of course he's very gentlemanly. Thanks Tony again for everything he's done for him in the past. Thanks Jim Ross. You've done as much for me, he says, as Tony has. Man in the Mask, you've done nothing for me. And the best friends all come out, and Danhausen is on TV, and William Regal asks, Man in the Mask, who is this demon waif? But the main reason he was there was to talk about how great Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley are and what wonderful violence they can do and how they are great professional wrestlers. And they love professional wrestling. They want to find other professional wrestlers and help them wrestle professionally better.
You know, everyone talks about what a badass William Regal is and everything like that, but man, back in the day, if we could have the Regal from like 20 years ago when he was sober against Danhausen in a match...
Actually,
goddamn, that would have been the best feud ever.
I think because my first thoughts of Regal are the violent side of Mr. Regal, but there absolutely was a clown side to him as well. And
absolutely.
His heroes, as you said, were the silent film stars and vaudeville stuff from the Blackpool Theater.
If only I could get him a copy of Kill That Mole.
Yes, William Regal selling for being cursed would be great stuff.
I got a cameo from Danhausen today.
A cameo from him?
Yeah, someone bought a cameo. Played it on Observer Live if you hadn't heard it.
I have not heard it.
Man, oh man, this guy's asking $100 for his cameos.
Danhausen is?
Yeah.
So, make sure I have this right. Somebody bought a cameo from Danhausen.
For me.
For you?
Yes.
So you cut a promo on you?
Kind of, yeah.
This other guy paid him?
Yeah.
Okay. So you get anything out of this except being made fun of?
Nothing.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. At the very least, buy a cameo from me for Danhausen now.
That would only be fair.
Yes.
So the match is very competitive, and William Regal's a very fair man. And whenever Chuck Taylor or Wheeler Yuta does anything impressive, he's sure to put them over. His very skilled competitors, it's not quite as good as his men Danielson and Moxley. And eventually, Wheeler Yuta is isolated, and Danielson is kicking the holy hell out of him, as he is wont to do. He dares Yuta to fight through them, and Yuta does, but eventually he's overwhelmed and killed by Moxley. And Danielson hits a Regal Plex, but Yuta kicks out of that, which just makes Danielson laugh more. Evil, smiling, laughing Bryan Danielson is the best.
This guy is the most believable psychopath that there is in this business.
Yes.
He is a, like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's not even like a character you could create.
No.
Like, he wants to save the earth, and, you know, he wears hemp, but he wants to fucking kill people. And he's gleeful about it. Man, he had so much fun. He was beating the shit out of this poor young Wheeler Yuta. And then there was like some move and Wheeler Yuta kicked out. And Bryan Danielson, he just began laughing.
Yeah.
Because that meant he could beat the shit out of him
Yes.
more.
He's very happy.
He was so happy he kicked out.
Lay out more punishment. And he kicked his head in. And just to be a good teammate, he tagged Moxley in so Moxley could finish him off with a bulldog choke. This ruled. And Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley are already very high on my list of favorite teams I've ever seen in my life. So, the best friends go to leave, and Yuta, of course, is going to leave with them, but he's conflicted, and he changes his mind. He gets in the ring to confront Regal. And Regal, I should note, when he was on commentary, said that when he debuted, he slapped Jon Moxley and then slapped Bryan Danielson, and he had hoped they would have responded by punching him in the mouth, showing some backbone. So here he is with Yuta. Yuta is getting in his face, and he hauls off. Regal does, and he smacks the holy hell out of Wheeler Yuta in the head, just smashes him, and Yuta gets in his face, and there's smiling Bryan Danielson to step up. Don't worry, Mr. Regal, I'll murder him for you. But Regal calls him off, and they talk for a while. Yuta on Twitter later said, quote, "Go ahead and prove yourself a little more sunshine." That is what Regal said to him. And so Yuta leaves with his friends. Danielson is still cackling. Mox
Kind of left with his friends.
Well, towards them.
He's sort of like, he's a man without an island. Is that the term?
No.
Well, he ain't got no island right now. He's just all by himself in the sea.
There you go. But Danielson's cackling. This whole thing makes him laugh. Mox is shrugging, totally chilled. If we beat two guys' ass, he's content. Content, Jon Moxley having killed men. This faction is gold. Do you understand? Gold!
It's fabulous. You know, I almost wish that poor Wheeler Yuta would have gotten his ass kicked worse. Because even though he showed a lot here and the fans were into him and everything like that, it's almost like, I'll do a jiu-jitsu analogy here. I'm sure many of you know a little bit about jiu-jitsu, know the name Rickson Gracie. And he was probably the greatest there's ever been. And he was so great that even people that disliked the Gracies admitted how great this guy was. And there would be just legends of jiu-jitsu that they would roll with Rickson. And he would just absolutely massacre these legends to the point where these legends of jiu-jitsu would say, I don't even know what he was even doing. Like, I've been doing this for 30 years or whatever, and I rolled with him, and I don't even know what the fuck this guy was doing. He was like miles above. So anyway, when you get smashed to that degree, that's when you really want to learn from somebody. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
if you go in there and, like, you know, you're good, and you go with Rickson, and you've got him in trouble a few times, and, you know, it's kind of 50-50, and then finally it sort of gets you at the end, that's one thing. But when you think you're really fucking good, and you go in there, and he makes you feel like you've never done this before, and, like, you know, you're playing not even checkers and chess, but, like, he's playing chess, and you're fucking, I don't know, playing Go Fish or something like that.
Sure.
That's when you're like, I must learn from this man. So they should have given him such a savage, fucking horrible beating that he had to rethink everything about this business. And that's why he wanted to go learn from these men.
Well, it's funny you should mention this, Brian, because many, many months back, December, I want to say, there was an episode of Rampage that had a brilliant Bryan Danielson Minoru
Yes.
Suzuki match. On that same match, Jon Moxley erased Wheeler Yuta. He turned Wheeler Yuta into a fine red mist,
That's
and
what this
Wheeler
should
Yuta
have been
disappeared.
here.
But he's already done it, you see.
Well, they can do it again.
There's no
Are
reason.
you kidding me?
They sure
You can beat this man 50 times. There's no limit to the number of times you can beat a man until he finally sees the error of his ways, hanging out with these other geeks, these best friends. Not about friends in this business, it's about business. As Wheeler Yuta has learned.
FTR is being interviewed, trying to explain why they fired Tully Blanchard. Said when they were champions, Tully was very focused, but then they lost those belts. Tully checked out and lost focus. At this point, the Young Bucks interrupt. Say, you can hire any manager you want. You can hire the best there is, the best manager in the world. You'll still be the second best tag team in AEW.
Dude, I love these guys dropping their little hints.
They're brilliant.
I mean,
it's not subtle.
it was not subtle, but it was not obvious.
I guess.
It was very cleverly done.
Max Custom. Both the guys in the Acclaimed actually do a promo on Keith Lee. You are limitless. I'm a no-limit soldier. We'll beat your Cleveland Junior-looking ass. Anthony Bowens is very good at comparing 2022 pro wrestlers to 1990s cartoon characters, or 2000s cartoon characters. But anyway, Ricky Starks interrupts. He wants them to take Keith Lee out, of course. But then Swerve interrupts him. Wants to remind him that he made Rampage at Swerve's house. And as he leaves, Caster notes that Swerve is also a rapper. So surely their paths will cross.
Actually, he asked, isn't that guy a rapper? That was supposed to be the comedy.
I see.
Because he's a rapper, Vinny.
He's also a rapping kind of guy. The Jericho Appreciation Society commencement.
Dude, I shouldn't have talked so much at the beginning of the show because I could go on for hours.
What brilliance.
Hours on this.
First of all,
And it's not just the brilliance we saw.
Okay.
I got some ideas.
I see. First of all, before we get into this segment, I just want to note how great Chris Jericho is at finding different ways to say cutting a promo. There's a commencement. There's a summit. There's a team meeting. There's a retreat. There's a dinner debonair. Whatever it is.
Well, you know there's going to be soon? A contract signing.
There might be.
Bro, this is the greatest gimmick ever. The gimmick is he's a sports entertainer.
Yeah.
If you want to go over all the details, you can, but let's just cut to the chase.
Yes.
His fucking gimmick is he is a sports entertainer in AEW.
In a pro wrestling promotion.
Bro, there are a million things that you can do with this gimmick. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. I think if you sat down and wrote everything, remember his list of holds, 1,002 holds or whatever?
Uh-huh.
I'm pretty sure you could get a million things you could do with the gimmick of being a sports entertainer. I mean, they need to fucking beat some guy down, and Jericho needs to be screaming to the cameraman to fucking zoom and cut. I mean, there's so many fucking... He needs to have these guys come out in suits, because, of course, Vince wants everyone to be in a suit. Sure. I was a little disappointed that he's having everyone use their real name, because that's actually the exact opposite of what you would do in sports entertainment. He should have renamed everybody. Like, Jeff Parker is now... what's his gimmick?
That would be Cool Hand Ange.
No, that's the other guy.
That was Jeff.
Oh, no, it's Jeff Parker. That's right. Yeah. And Matt's...
Daddy Magic.
Yeah. He should have not used their real names, but just said, he's now Daddy Magic. And the other guy is Cool Hand Ange. It's now all gimmick names.
Yes.
And give Jake Hager, who we all know his name in AEW, he's got to have a different name. And, what's his face? Daniel Garcia, he's definitely got to have a different name. That's way too generic a name. Jericho's got to trademark all their names.
Maybe each week he'll name it.
Yep. Oh, man, there's so many things you can do with this.
Well, what happened was the men who were formerly known as 2.0 began to speak, and they're awesome, and they're here with a legit main event or a big-time faction. They're going to do stuff, and they were in NXT forever and could barely get on television. So he said, I know you all love singing Chris Jericho's song. It was up to me to be no sing-along, but Chris Jericho lets you do it. That's why he's a better man than me. That's why he deserves to be praised and idolized for his contributions in this industry and as a human being. He's no longer the pain maker. He's no longer the demo god. He's the influencer and the big one, Chris Jericho. Jericho's there. He's like gray jeans and a purple jacket, purple gloves, and purple shoes. It's a brilliant look. And he begins to talk. You've been lucky enough to live through the Jericho era, living vicariously through me as I have great matches and angles and promos.
Dude, you're missing the best line.
All right.
The Earth has been here for 4.5 billion years,
yes.
And you people are so lucky that you just happen to be living during the time that I am here.
Yes.
What a fucking line. Even I've never used that line.
I like when he says, first he says, with no Chris Jericho, there's no AEW, you're welcome. And he's right about this, which is what makes it so great. He says, y'all take me for granted. You insult me on social media. I read what you write. It's very hurtful. That made me laugh. So, we can't relate. Eventually, he gets to the point. We can't relate to the former Inner Circle or their buddy Eddie Kingston or anyone else on this AEW roster. They are nothing more than pro wrestlers. Pro wrestlers have never been legendary. Pro wrestlers have never been millionaires. I am a legendary millionaire because I am a sports entertainer.
Boy, did these people fucking boo.
Ugh.
They bit it. They bit hook, line, and sinker.
So Garcia does a little bit where he pretends to protest, but then says, I too am a sports entertainer. And Jericho starts to talk about January 6th, and I thought, oh no. Then he says 2019. I thought, oh, good. What happened on January 26th, 2019 was that Daniel Garcia and other wrestlers were in a terrible car accident. And Jericho, not knowing any of them, donated thousands of dollars to their medical bills and recovery. And Garcia recovered from a terribly broken leg, thanks in part to Chris Jericho's donation. Now he's standing tall here. That's why Garcia appreciates Chris Jericho.
Bro, am I the only one on this fucking planet that saw how brilliant that thing was right there that he just did? In fact, I'm not even sure if he did it on purpose. But if you've ever watched WWE, they love putting over their fucking charity work.
Oh, yeah.
They love putting over their charity
Dude, we just
work.
watched I always have. The Retro Raw we just did, yeah.
Yeah, Stephanie did that fucking line once where she said that, like, what the hell was that line she used? Something like, charity work is all PR or something. I can't remember the word. She had some, like, it was so tone deaf that you would actually say something like that. And, Jericho, we all hear about things here and there, donations he's made, and etc. But, I mean, he's done tons of stuff that nobody has ever heard about. And he doesn't go out there and trumpet it to the world. But this character is now putting over how he donates to people out of the goodness of his own heart, exactly like WWE does at all these shows with all their video packages about all the wonderful things that they do for charity and this and that.
Then Jericho gets into his no more fake name spiel. No more 2.0. That's a stupid name from Bad Creative. We're going to use their real names. Daddy Magic, Matt Bernard, and Cool Hand Ange, Angelo Parker.
You know what he should have done is he should have changed all their names to like, Matt Lee is now Lee Matthews.
Yes.
And Jeff Parker is now Parker Jeffries.
Yeah.
Oh, man. God. As much as I liked it, I'm angry.
There's room for improvement. So Jericho talks about how he met them. He got a call from his former best friend, Kevin. And Kevin says, my friends got fired. Please put them on your podcast to try to get them a job. And Jericho did, and he liked them, and he got them a job. That's why they appreciate him. And Jake Hager, of course, has had his back since 2010. He saved my life in Dubai, he says. He is the hand of the king. And Jake Hager says, we are the JAS. We beat up pro wrestlers. Yes, everyone, eventually this Jericho faction and this Regal faction are going to collide. It's obvious. But anyway, then as if... this is actually the most brilliant part, I think, the very end. Because it's... You ever go to a magic show? And I once saw Penn and Teller once, and they shot guns at each other, and they caught the bullets in their teeth. That was the big finale. And what they did not do after that is say, we have just done a magic trick. You don't need to explain it to you. But Chris Jericho outright says, there you have it, the latest reinvention of the last true genius, Chris Jericho. He's pulling back the curtain doesn't go far enough. He's just explaining what he's doing. He's
Well, that is another WWE thing.
That's also true.
Let's presume you're really fucking dumb and hold your hand through this and explain it to you, you fucking dorks.
Yes, the more you peel back the layers, the more meta this gets. It's fascinating. But he's the latest reinvention of the last true genius, Chris Jericho. A new era begins, the era of the sports entertainer, which I thought actually would have been a great line. But his closing catchphrase, of course, is, that's entertainment. And he plays music. This show was so awesome. We're not even to the end yet. I'm like, all right, I'm in love with this show. It was a great
This show was great. Way better than last week's show.
Yes. This is the best show in a long time. This is a rare quality episode of Dynamite. Serena Deeb welcomes Hikaru Shida back. It's flattering, she says. You were thinking about me throughout your rehab. I didn't think about you one time. But imagine how much I'll think about you when I'm ending your career. All right, so it wasn't a perfect show. Wardlow versus Scorpio Sky.
This was perfect. This was exactly what they should have done.
So I did Paige Van Zant is out there, of course, and she gets in Wardlow's face. And then Mr. Van Zant gets in Wardlow's face, and then the Van Zants begin to make out. Which makes Wardlow so angry, he goes to powerbomb the dude. That seems totally uncalled for. If I'm kissing my wife, is Wardlow going to knock the door down and powerbomb me for it? That would
Well, if
suck.
you're being a dick about it, in the middle of his match.
On the floor, like in the middle of the ring.
God.
Anyway. So Wardlow is making his comeback in the second half of this, and they're chanting his name, but not really in him until it's time for the power bombs, which they love.
Well, it was very clever because they went to commercial when he started to sell, and they came back from commercial when he was done selling. So unless you wanted to watch that tiny little picture-in-picture, you didn't have to sit there and watch poor Wardlow sell, which nobody wants to see.
So he hits 3 of these power bombs, Wardlow does, but Lambert takes the ref, and then Spears is out there, MJF is posting Wardlow. Scorpio wins the schoolboy. Now, say what you will about how perfect this is for Wardlow and MJF and where this goes and how everything fits in, but Scorpio Sky won this title as the 5th wheel in that segment behind Paige Van Zandt and Ty Conti and Dan Lambert and everyone else. He was irrelevant. It's his first title defense, and he's the 5th wheel behind Paige Van Zandt and her husband and MJF
Yeah,
and
but
Spears.
bro, who cares? It's the second week. And
It's the TNT title.
Dude, this should not have been about Scorpio Sky tonight. This was all about Wardlow. And dude, the TNT title was more about Wardlow tonight than it was about Scorpio Sky.
That's not
Wardlow,
good.
No, because he won the fucking ring. The brass ring.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this should be all about him. Scorpio Sky is going to be fine. They'll do something next week and the week after. It's only the second week of his title run, and it happened to coincide with MJF having to screw this fucker, this Wardlow.
So MJF screws him, of course, and Scorpio pins him with a powerbomb. Afterwards, Wardlow tries another one, Wardlow tries a powerbomb, but did I say Scorpio won with a powerbomb?
I don't know what you're doing, dude.
Scorpio won with a schoolboy. Thank you.
Yes.
And Wardlow tried to powerbomb him after the match, but he gets laid out by Spears, and then Mr. Van Zandt is choking him out, and then Spears hits him with a chair shot, and MJF pays off Dan Lambert, and now you understand, it took 5 seconds of TV time, but now you understand why these two groups are working together, and then he lays out Wardlow with the ring punch. So there you go. Alex Marvez is interviewing Smart Mark Cargill and Jade, or Smart Mark Sterling and Jade Cargill. So she's at 29-0 right now. Her next win will be a nice big round number 30-0. And they're wondering who it's going to be, who is going to get the kiss of doom. And Jade says she's sick of charity. She wants to know who will step up on that bit show.
This Mark Sterling was so excited at the prospect of her kissing folks. He was giddy.
Well, it got over. Private Party versus the Hardy Boys. This was exactly what it should have been. Hardy Boys do all their spots. They cut off Matt. They go to break. They come back. Jeff gets the hottest tag of the year. When Jeff Hardy tagged in, oh my God, people were into this. Most of all, Tony Schiavone. He's almost giggling as he says, I bet we're going to see a senton.
He's never called a Jeff Hardy match.
He noted he had never called a Hardy Boys match before this one. He can't wait to call a Hardy Boys match. And it's funny because when he says this, Jeff's on the middle rope and the guy's way too close, so it's not going to be a senton. And he's like, oh, it's just a diving splash. But fear not, Mr. Schiavone, because like 2 minutes later, they lay out Isaiah Cassidy, and Jeff Hardy goes to that top rope, and Jeff kills him with a senton. Like the first thing that hit was Jeff's head on the mat, but the next thing that hit was all of Jeff's body weight, his center of gravity on Cassidy's sternum. And usually when you do a senton, not that I've ever done one, but I've seen you do one many times, you do the senton and your momentum never stops. You roll forward, even if you don't go all the way to your feet.
It's a dive roll.
It's a diving roll. Jeff didn't roll, or he started to roll, but his hips bounced off Cassidy's sternum, and he rolled back the other way.
Yeah.
This was violent. I hope Cassidy is okay.
Hope Matt Farmer was watching.
You would know. Except at least Matt was way bigger than you. Jeff Hardy's bigger than Isaiah Cassidy.
Dude, these Hardys are gigantic.
They're not small men.
Holy smokes. We used to see in TNA, but man, oh man. You know, when they broke into the 90s, they were like
Tiny.
little skinny dorks compared to the Alberts and the Canes and
Papa Shango.
now you see
Kama,
him in
whichever he
here
was.
with
Godfather.
these guys and fucking two Andre the Giants.
Doing flips. So Andrade family office comes out to confront them, but Sting and Darby come out, and then nothing happens. But it was a lot of fun. The card for Rampage, which I shall read because I had time to write it down. Don't.
No. I got a guy that does this on Observer Live now.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you don't want me to,
Well, you see, I got some complaints when we read the spoilers. We're giving it away.
I tell the matches that are on Rampage.
Yes, just the way we read them. So I got a little man, Fauntleroy, who is now reading all of the matches.
Well,
We don't have to worry about this anymore.
for the sake of this show, I won't do it, but I do want to note they actually took enough time to announce this card that the matches could sink in and you could tell what they were saying instead of zipping through them at 2 million miles an hour.
Well, let me ask you a question. You know the spoilers, Vinny?
Not off the top of my head. In fact, no, I do not. I do not know who won these matches. I'm looking at this card. I could guess most of them.
All right, well, here's what we're going to do. Since you don't know the results, you're allowed to read it.
Are you sure?
So every week, I want you to not read the spoilers so we cannot be accused of suggesting who may or may not be winning these matches. So Vinny does not know who won any of these matches, everybody. Read the card.
I do not know. I should do my best to remove all inflection from my voice so as not to
No, you may as
spoil-
well because you don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Darby Allin versus The Butcher. Layla Hirsch versus Red Velvet. And we get a quick Red Velvet promo. The House of Black versus Bear Country and Fuego del Sol. And Max Caster of the Acclaimed versus Keith Lee. I hope I didn't spoil that for anyone. Main event. Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker inside a steel cage. It's in San Antonio. It's Thunder's adopted hometown. And she gets a full mariachi band playing her entrance, and then that pop when she comes out. I'm not from San Antonio. I had chills. It was tremendous. Britt comes out, and she had Scott Hall tribute gear on. If she got it made just for this week, this stuff got done fast.
Of course she did.
That's impressive. Whoever, her seamstress, gets an A+ job this week. Gold star. So, I thought this match was awesome.
Oh, how about that, Vinny?
Yeah.
Boy, did I have to listen to you for a while there.
Me?
Yeah, you were all angry about Britt and the match at the pay-per-view.
Yeah, like this because
You didn't want to see the cage match.
they just had two people fight.
That's the point of all the booking leading up to this match. You fell for it.
No,
You were supposed to get angry about the pay-per-view finish so that you would want to see them have a one-on-one match in a cage with no interference. That was the point.
well, it didn't make me want to see it, but when I did see it, I was happy I saw it.
Exactly.
But it would have been a great match with no build. You could have thrown this match out with a 1 hour announcement. It would have still been awesome.
Well, sure, it would have been awesome, but there was a point to the booking and the stipulations.
So, I saw some not everyone likes everything. I saw some online commentary from people who thought this is too much overkill. AEW is too reliant on thumbtack
Don't wanna
spots
hear
or
it.
whatever. Listen, I've seen a lot of garbage matches, especially lately in NXT, where they just go through the checklist. We must use a fire extinguisher. We must use chairs. We must use kendo sticks. This wasn't that. This is two women desperately trying to kill each other and win a match. And because they were so desperate and nothing else was working, they had to try new things. So yes, they tried thumbtacks. They tried moves onto a pile of chairs. They tried a stunner here on Steve Austin Day. And Thunder even had the date on her gear. So they start setting up, well, it's not they, it's Britt. She starts setting up a pyramid of chairs in the corner. And I've seen this done many times, but it's always done in a way so that at the end of the day, you put a number of chairs together, facing each other a certain way, so there's still a broad, flat surface to land on. And then you land on that, and all the chairs will go flying and bending or whatever. But at least you have a target of where you can make contact on a broad, flat surface. These chairs were not that. I don't know if this is their plan or if she just sucks at making buildings, but there was points and jagged edges and curves everywhere. And the actual bump she took wasn't that big. I think she took like a middle rope bump and then fell like a foot onto this pile of chairs. But she hits these chairs and there's zero give. And she just drapes over them and then sort of melts the floor like Sylvester the cat hitting the wall or something. Looks so bad. So we get the tacks are gotten to, and Britt's just swinging the bag of tacks at her, which I've never seen before. We get the lockjaw is put on, but Thunder bites her way free, and so Britt tries to transition to the other hand, but Thunder responds by taking that hand and slamming it into the tacks repeatedly, so Britt can't do the lockjaw now. Now, the finish was weird. Here's exactly what happened. They're fighting outside. Britt hits her with a chair, then hits her with a punch, and then gets back in the ring. They look at each other for about 4 seconds, and Thunder gets in there and punches her and pile drives her onto the tacks and wins.
Well, they were running up against the clock, and they presumably got word.
I'm sure they got told.
Fuck, get this thing over with immediately.
Yes. But you know what? It still worked. As weird as that last 10 seconds may have been, in the end, the hometown hero picked up the hated villain, dropped her head right in the tacks, which she brought into the ring, give her a taste of her own medicine, and she gets the pin. And like I say, it was a stunt show, but it never felt like a stunt show. It felt like a war in which they did a bunch of stunt things. Like, we watched at Revolution, and I really liked Revolution, and Revolution was awesome. I'm not going to tell you this would have been the best match of Revolution, but it sure wouldn't have been the worst. It was a great main event.
Dude, I'm not going to do my whole 10-minute speech. If you want to hear us on Observer Live today, my Britt Baker speech. But the short version is she's fucking great. And I'm sick of having to hear people tell me that she sucks, because she doesn't. If you want to go back to like the first few months of AEW and compare her matches from then to today, I think that some of you people that think she sucks should probably go back and do that. She has improved so much, and she gets heat because of her character, because of the way they book the matches, because of the interference that they do to build to this cage match. But that has nothing to do with whether or not she's a good worker. And I watched this match, and I thought she was fucking awesome in this match. And I thought that she has a poise. You never see her get flustered. Never. You never see her rush. You never see her freak out because something is going wrong. And if you look at, how long she's been doing this, I mean, she's way better than she should be given her level of experience. And I thought she was really good in this match. And I'm not saying that Thunder Rosa was not good, but I think Thunder Rosa is hurt.
Oh, no.
And, Dave, I think Dave mentioned it in The Observer, and it was denied. But I was watching this match, and there were spots, particularly when Thunder Rosa had to do a lot of running. I think she's hurt.
I did notice a few spots where she took way more steps than would be ideal.
So presumably, I mean, it can't be that bad because she's doing these matches and everything like that. It's not like she's got a broken neck or something like that. But I think that she's got some sort of injury. She may not be telling anybody, but I think that that's probably the main reason that the last 2 or 3 times they've been in the ring together, it has not been anywhere near as good as this particular match right here. So I think the combination of, they were going to go in there. They were in the main event of Dynamite. It was Thunder Rosa's hometown. They had a lot of gimmicks. They were going to do the blood. I mean, I think that they both they gelled this time, just like they did that first time in the Lights Out match. I thought this was a great main event. I thought it was a great payoff. I thought it was very clever the way they teased that people were going to run in when that door opened up for Aubrey to come in. And they made it very clear, the door is open.
I see.
And then they shut it because it's a cage match. Nobody in, nobody out. They didn't kill the goddamn stipulation. Now the next time they do this shit, you're going to buy the cage match. That's what pro wrestling is all about. Excellent main event. I thought this show was awesome.
All right. We also watched NXT 2.0, March 15th, 2022. Poured myself a drink, sat down. Miz came out. Pour myself another drink. Crowd is chanting for him because he's a main roster guy. He hypes his match with Logan Paul against the Mysterios at WrestleMania. He brings out Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. He then explains Braun Breaker won't be here tonight, and here's why. And what they show is earlier today, of course, Braun Breaker pulls up in his Mustang or whatever his fancy car is, parks it that's in the middle, not in the parking lot, not like parks it, just stops in front of the door. He gets out and begins to stride through the building. And this is all through security camera footage. Even on security camera footage, there must be 4 dozen camera cuts of a man walking. My mind was blown at that. So
Jericho needs to make sure he does a deal, by the way, where, they all face the camera when they're trying to be looking at a monitor.
Oh, yeah.
I just keep thinking of ideas. I think of this NXT show.
NXT is the perfect
Yeah. Jericho needs to be
breeding
watching.
ground for ideas.
He needs to be
creativity.
watching NXT and he needs to be watching Raw, which is like, that's a lot of time he's got to devote. But hey, it's his angle now.
Yeah.
He needs to watch for ideas.
So the point is, Braun Breaker got there, tried to attack Dolph Ziggler, but through the 87 cameras they have there, we see security stops him and sends him home. You got that? Put a pin in that. So Miz and Dolph and Rude are bragging about how rich they are when LA Knight comes out, I guess to stand up for poor people. He wants a title
Well, I
match.
can't tell if he's rich or poor because they had all those angles with Cameron Grimes and
He won the $1 million title. Did that make him rich?
he did, but I mean, I don't know if that makes him rich.
I don't either. I don't know.
Wait, Grimes won the title
They
from
both-
him.
Yes.
Yeah, so
LA won it first.
whatever it was worth, that transferred over to Grimes.
So you only get to be rich at the moment you have the belt?
Well, sure, of course. It's a belt with diamonds on it. So if you possess that, then it increases your net worth by the value of the belt. But then when you lose it, you don't keep that. It's not like, oh, it was worth 30. My house is worth $3 million. So when I sell it, I still got that $3 million. It doesn't work like that, right?
So if someone gives me diamonds, then I get a house, but I still have the diamonds?
No, you idiot. If I give you a fucking diamond ring that's worth $3 million,
Yes.
okay? You are worth an additional $3 million. Because if you take it to Porcello Jewelers, you sell it and you get $3 million, right?
Okay.
Okay. Then I beat your ass and I take the ring.
Okay.
You don't have that ring anymore.
But we did not see LA Knight's net worth change. We saw his material items change. His liquidations changed. He had houses and cars and beautiful women everywhere.
Yeah, but remember we were wondering if he was renting it?
So he was renting it then.
Well, there was some weird thing where
I don't care.
Because I thought...
Why are we talking about this?
Because at the beginning, there's a point to this. At the beginning, I thought he was living in this tiny apartment, right? And then later, all of a sudden, he's in this mansion. So then I presume that his character had just rented the mansion. So my point is, Vinny, I don't know if he was sticking up for poor people or not.
All right, great.
I don't know if LA Knight has any money.
Well, he wants a title match tonight, and they put him over but say you're not ready yet.
He's living in LA, so probably not.
He's living in Orlando.
He's LA Knight.
His name is LA.
Well, of course, that's because he lives there.
Your daughter's name is Honolulu. She doesn't live in Honolulu Bay.
Well, someday she will.
Okay. Well, LA challenges him again, and... Okay, so LA challenges, I want a title match. Dolph says no. LA says, I really want a title match. Dolph says, I only work main events. Miz says, it's a match.
Hey, listen.
Did I miss something?
Bro, listen. When they announced Miz TV with Dolph Ziggler at NXT, I was filled with fury. I do not need to watch this shit on another show. But they got in, they got to the point, and they got out. So I have no problem with it.
Fine.
It's over and done with. We got a main event. Whatever.
Mackenzie interviews Cora Jade.
Oh, God. Here we go.
So she says, you attacked Mandy Rose. What message were you sending? First of all,
Violence?
I hate you. That's the message. I hate you so much, I want to hit you with my fists. She says, they injured Raquel. Raquel's going to be out for 4 to 6 weeks. I'm going to spend my night looking for toxic attraction, but they'll be looking for me too. And the camera pans over, and she has somehow stolen not only the NXT Women's Championship belt, but also both Women's Tag Team Championship belts. And she goes to take them off of wherever they are. And, when I, grew up watching wrestling, and the World Championship belts were these big, massive leather, gold, diamond things.
Oh, I know where you're going, dude. You're old.
And when you put that belt on, you needed help. So I had to get behind you and push those snaps in, right? Those brass snaps that held that belt on. And Cora Jade goes to unhook these title belts, and they are held by Velcro. You got the same thought I did? It's not just me?
Oh, bro, I've known about this. This has been going on for years.
All right, first time I noticed.
No, they got these belts, and they put Velcro on them, which I cannot for the life of me figure out why. Although when you think about it, Vinny, you know what the old belts had?
Snaps.
Snaps.
Yes.
I can buy those at Michael's for like $3.
Okay.
So it's not like this is you know what I'm saying? It seems weird that they took a metal out and put Velcro on.
I think Velcro is what you give children.
Yeah, it's like,
Paisley could use
because you don't know how to tie your fucking shoes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or fasten snaps.
These wrestlers are so dumb they can't fasten snaps. So we
Kinda
got
how
to
it
put
came up,
Velcro
yeah.
on their fucking, or maybe I don't know.
All right. Santos Escobar and Cameron Grimes in a ladder match qualifier with Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes joining the announce desk, which is funny because they have this announce desk out there, but you never actually see Vic and Wade at it. But Carmelo's bragging he sent Pete Dunne packing and made him change his name and go to a different brand. So Santos' flunkies interfere, and he's going for something off the apron, but he gets distracted and tripped, and that's the heat. The heat is actually still going on after the break. They did not start the comeback during the break or right after. That's good stuff. Eventually he makes his comeback. They do the exact same spot for the heat, except this time Grimes jumps over the flunkies and does a big dive onto Santos. But it's to no avail. Moments later, he tries the cave-in. Santos catches him with the Phantom Driver, and he wins. It was a good match.
Yeah, I like this match a lot. Santos Escobar's my man. I don't have any fucking idea. I need to win, billions of dollars so that I can start a wrestling promotion and I can just sign Santos Escobar. And a lot of these guys that are so fucking good, and I can book my own dream matches like Santos Escobar versus Rey Mysterio instead of the shit that they put together. No offense to Mysterio.
There's a tease for that. I mean, it won't happen at Mania. But
well, yeah, Santos Escobar's in a ladder match now, so unless they do it on TV, which...
as long as I see it, I won't complain.
Well, I haven't seen it yet, so I'm going to bitch about it till I fucking see it.
That's fair. Io Shirai and Kaylee Ray do a promo together. They have common enemies and Toxic Attraction. Wendy Chu and Dakota Kai will be a tough team to beat, they say. But this tournament is theirs, and then Toxic Attraction's reign will come to an end. I'll just read this verbatim. Wendy drinking orange soda. Dakota wants to forfeit. Wendy says we can do it. Dakota convinced. Toxic Attraction can't find their titles. Dakota upset they interfered. They did it because they can. Toxic Attraction agrees to split up and find Cora Jade. Wendy and Dakota deem them hot but weird.
Hot but weird?
That's what they said.
Well, I mean, they are hot but weird. Guess I never thought about it.
So they hyped up A-Kid, gave him a big video last week. It's time for his big debut here with Kushida. Doesn't even get an entrance. Just in the ring. Kushida's out there. So they have this match, and I think I've seen A-Kid wrestle before, but it's been a long time.
Oh, I have.
Yeah. His style can only be described as elegant.
Any other promotion on the face of this fucking planet, these guys would have fucking torn the house down.
Yes.
Here, it's like good, and then it's
Over.
And the finish didn't even look good.
No, the finish
Tried
was
a
botched.
springboard tornado DDT, and something went horribly wrong. Then he covered him and pinned him.
Yeah.
What?
So, yes, it's like 5 minutes. It's the first 5 minutes of a great 60-minute match, what they did. It's all very complicated and elaborate transitions and grapples and takedowns into wacky, strange lucha submissions. Still a bazillion camera cuts for all this, by the way. And then I actually missed it the first time. The bell rang. I thought, what happened? And I went back and rewound. And you've actually you have mentioned AJ Styles as the moonsault into a reverse DDT and has never, ever, ever, not once, ever fucked it up.
Yeah.
A-Kid fucked it up in his first match here in NXT.
You know, this was, Vinny, as opposed to being A-Kid versus Kushida, this was merely Kushida versus A-Kid.
I see what you did there. Mackenzie is interviewing Santos Escobar and crew. He declares himself the greatest luchador of all time. The stand and deliver will be his time. Mi momento, he says, as he becomes the new North American champ. But then he is interrupted by the Mysterios. Santos is very respectful. So to Ray, of course, and Dominic as well at first. But his geeks are embarrassing him, marking out for Ray, talking about how he is the greatest luchador of all time. Dominic outright says, yes, Ray, my father, Rey Mysterio, is the greatest luchador ever. Santos is upset, says, I'm going to break all of Ray's records. The Mysterios laugh at him, and somewhere in here, eventually it comes down to Dominic challenging Raul Mendoza to a match. I haven't seen Dominic in a long time. He's not a very good promo, and he has Giant Gonzalez's haircut.
Yeah, but you know what? He's not a bad promo, and he's really a pretty good little worker.
His wrestling's
but
fine.
He gets no respect from anybody.
His wrestling is fine.
Poor guy.
Promo,
of course, he's the son of Ray.
Promo has a lot of work to do.
You know, hard.
That is a high bar to clear.
I remember when Dominic was training at Lance's school. One day they had a Rey Mysterio show up, to, show the kids some stuff, give them a talk or whatever.
Sure.
And, Oscar showed up.
Yes.
No mask on.
Right.
Just, short little bald guy. And, he does his little speech and everything, and everyone's all cool and everything like that. And then at the end, Lance says, if anybody wants a photo, we can, let's get some photos here with Ray. So, of course, it's photos. And so
Puts the mask on.
little Oscar puts his fucking mask on, and it was like sunbeams.
Yes.
Everyone was like, holy fucking shit,
You're Ray Jr.
Mysterio fucking Jr.'s here, a fucking legend of Lucha Libre.
Yes.
Goddamn, all they had to say was, Santos Escobar is the greatest luchador of all time, and then Ray shows up. All I want is to see this fucking match in the main event of WrestleMania. I don't care about any of these other fucking matches on WrestleMania weekend. I don't care about anything at NXT. I just want to see Santos Escobar and Rey Mysterio in a battle of the men who think they are the greatest luchador of all time. I may not even get it.
And you probably won't get
And
it.
if I do, it'll be like 5 minutes on NXT with a bunch of shitheads running in.
Yeah, you won't get it on that stage, at that scale, no. Tiffany Stratton versus Sarai. So Sarai,
Your turn.
for those of you who are new to the show or new to NXT, she's a very nerdy person, but she has a magic necklace. And because of her magic necklace, when she walks through the smoke of her entrance, she turns into a superhero and destroys everyone, right?
You know what's funny about this, too?
Everything?
Well, when she first returned, she was dressed as a schoolgirl. Okay? Mm-hmm. And this made people very mad. They were like, this is the great Sarai. And they're giving her a fucking stupid-ass, Japanese schoolgirl gimmick. What next? And I said, everyone just calm down. Let's wait. It's possible that those are her street clothes. That's what she likes to wear. But when she goes to the ring, she'll be a wrestler. That's what I said before her first match.
Okay.
So then the day came, and she's walking around backstage as a schoolgirl, and she walks through the fucking smoke, and she comes out the other side, and she's in her gear, and she wrestles. Mm-hmm. And if you don't watch NXT and you hear that, there's probably that party that's like, what a load of horse shit. But you know what? Here's why it didn't bother me that she did this transformation, okay? Because I imagine if this were real, okay? Mm-hmm. If this were real, they could grab Borash or whoever's doing, walking around with that camera, and he can film the first part, which is then a pre-tape.
Aha!
And they play the pre-tape, but she's actually been in her gear the whole time. So what it is it's not like, it's not like she's Clark Kent jumping in a fucking phone booth. It's just, they found a cool idea for an entrance. Well, we'll do the pre-tape of her walking through the smoke, and then she'll come out and she's got a different outfit on. So I could suspend my disbelief and think, you know what? If Dana White thought this was a great idea for Ronda Rousey, she's backstage in a kilt, and then she walks through the smoke, and now she's, Ronda Rousey in her gear, they could do this, right?
I suppose so.
Now I find out that's not what this is.
No.
Now I can no longer suspend my disbelief. Now they've told me that she goes through that fucking smoke like fucking biplanes went through the smoke in the Bermuda Triangle. And then she fucking transforms. Mm-hmm. It's transformative smoke.
That is the word they use.
And if her fucking shit's pulled off, and now she can't transform, but that's what they said.
Well, the necklace, Brian, that part they have pointed out, that isn't canon because when she was backstage and Tiffany attacked her the first time, Tiffany beat the hell out of her. Then when they fought in the ring, Sarai was in superhero mode and whipped her ass. So, here on this episode.
I know there's people out there that think this is cool. I know there's comic book fans out there. But I'm telling you as a 46-year-old fucking guy, this is shit. This is absolute bullshit. That a pro wrestler has a magic fucking amulet that allows them to transform and be strong with it on and weak with it off. This is bullshit. It fucking sucks. Go watch fucking Batman or whatever if you want to watch some superhero bullshit or read a fucking comic book. But I don't want to see it in my wrestling.
So the precedent has been set, all right?
I'm just reading our chat here. Do you want me to read these two that were written at exactly the same time by two different people?
Have at it.
John here writes, she's Sailor Moon, it's awesome. Michael writes, it's Sailor Moon, it's terrible.
Well, there you go.
Back
then.
to back.
Okay. So, regardless, the precedent has been set. If you can catch Sarai before she transforms, you can beat her up. So Tiffany Stratton attacks Sarai backstage and beats her up. I thought, hey, this is the smartest thing a character on NXT has done all year. So she beats her up. She does not. Sarai does not have a chance to transform in the magic smoke. They go into the ring and the match starts. And as I'm thinking it's smart, here are the questions and comments Vic Joseph has about the entire scenario. First, he asks, what I think is a brilliant strategy on Tiffany Stratton's part. He asks, is this necessary? Like, yes, it is. This is the way to beat this woman. Don't let her turn into a superhero. And then he's, with disgust in his voice, a grown man actually says, Sarai, not even able to transform.
It was so painful to him to say.
And as the
It's
beating
so painful.
As the beating continues, he says, you know, how full of herself is Tiffany Stratton to attack this superhero when she's in mortal mode and then have a wrestling match with her.
In mortal mode? I missed that one.
I threw that in there.
Oh.
So it's still Sarai, and she makes like a mini comeback, but the key is it's nerd Sarai, so she fucks up everything. And so Tiffany beats her ass, does like the back handspring in the corner, and goes to do, I think it's a move. I'm not even sure because there's 4 camera cuts in the middle of the move. But it's a splash or a moonsault or something where she lands on the girl. And she lands knees to knees, which sounds brutal for everyone involved, and pins her. Gunther confronts LA Knight. He does not respect LA Knight for using his voice to get title matches, calls him a disgrace to the sport. LA says Gunther has no charisma, which is horseshit, and is not a sports entertainer. So Gunther can go join William Regal's crew. LA Knight can join Jericho's crew. This will actually both be perfect fits.
This guy has a great idea. Cora Jade needs to put on that fucking amulet so that she'll not be a geek anymore.
There might be an amulet.
Does it transfer?
Yeah,
Does the power transfer?
there may not be an amulet powerful enough to make Cora Jade stop being a geek.
I mean, in most things, like, you know, you get the magic thing and you put it on, now you have the magic. So why didn't fucking Tiffany put the fucking amulet on and then she's unbeatable?
Maybe that's next week.
Maybe she didn't want to change her outfit.
There's chapters.
I don't blame her.
Yeah. JC Jane is on bosom cam. She's walking around backstage. There's a camera pointed at her, but they can't just have it on her face. It's got to be at like waist level looking up at her cleavage. So she sees one of the NXT Tag Team title belts hanging from the ceiling. And she walks up, and she looks around, and she's cautious, and she pokes it.
Can't believe she didn't have a spear to go like this
to
with.
see if it explodes or something.
Fuck.
And she...
That was even worse than the transformation. What did you think was going to happen?
I don't know.
You poked it. You thought it might bite you?
Well, eventually it didn't bite her, so she grabs it and pulls it down. And then we get a Rube Goldberg device as the cord the belt is hanging from. When she pulls that, she pulls belt, belt pulls cord closes gates behind her, and Cora Jade runs up and locks the door.
Which, by the way, doesn't even make sense. Like, if you pull the thing down, the thing should go up. She pulled it down and the thing went down.
Listen, there's pulleys and things you can do to make it work. I have bigger fish to fry on this show.
Not me. I've lifted and let down mini sliding bay doors.
I see.
Don't work that way.
All right. Well, regardless, Cora Jade locks the door behind her as we are now watching the worst Indiana Jones movie ever. Tommaso Ciampa comes out for a promo. He's here to talk about gratitude. I've been doing this for 17 years. He's trying to get sympathy. I was just bored of his whining immediately.
Wow.
He's still here whining and moaning forever. Oh, there's no way I'll get him to stand and deliver now. Oh, I won't get my fairy tale ending. Like, dude, I watched... Guys miss championship events all the time. It happens. I'm sure Robert Woods would have loved to play in the Super Bowl with his Rams teammates.
Dude.
He didn't get to. Life sucks.
This is the new WWE thing. They do it on Raw. They do it on SmackDown. Now they do it on NXT. These superstars. Not dorks.
Yeah, top guys.
Not Sarai without an amulet.
Right.
Like actual superstars. They can't make it to the big show.
Yes.
A fucking...
They have one... First of all, it's stupid anyway.
A 2-day WrestleMania.
Yeah, but they only have one story.
We can't figure out how to get Seth Rollins on this fucking show. But you know what? We can definitely get Otis on.
Yes. Yes. So he doesn't know how he's going to be a champion, how he's going to get to stand and deliver now. He doesn't know what's going on. He thanks everyone and teases like he's going to leave, but then Tony D'Angelo finally shows up. And I know Ciampa was on Main Event or something this week. And there's something they're teasing that his time in NXT is coming to an end. He's finally going to go to the main roster, even though he once on this show vowed he would never go to the main roster. They're doing all this to build up to Tony D'Angelo as his final opponent. Okay, good luck. And Tony says, I respect you too much to hit you in the back of the head with my crowbar. Literally, that's what he said. And he's asking who he has to beat to be the Don around here or something. And eventually they shake hands, and Tony knees him in the nuts, vows to become the new Don of NXT, and kisses him on the cheek.
I liked it.
I was bored out of my mind and spent time...
Listen, I was not bored out of my mind, but Ciampa did talk longer than he needed to. He got to the point and then kept getting to the point over and over again.
I was far more entertained that a basketball ball got stuck very high in the backboard in one of the games we were playing tonight, and the cheerleaders had to come save it.
Wow.
They're getting out of the chair to stand on it. It's basketball, so everyone's 7 feet anyway. But the rest like, don't stand in the chair. I don't want you to fall and get hurt. I'll get in trouble. And it's at the very top of the backboard. It's like 12 feet up in the air. And finally, the cheerleaders come to save the day, and the guy presses the girl over her head, and she's standing on his feet, and she reaches up and she gets it. The whole arena cheers, and the game didn't pause for 5 minutes. That was much better than Tommaso Ciampa's promo here. We go backstage. It's only like 5 seconds, and among the terrible things about the move to Peacock, Peacock is apparently ungiffable. When it was the WWE Network, I could GIF whatever I wanted. Program I used to make GIFs. Peacock, I just get a blank screen. It won't record. But the gimmick is Indy and Persia are tag team partners, but they're having a disagreement. So they're going to have what you might call a respect match. But they have to walk towards each other and smile, smirk. I don't even know what they were doing. But I was dying with laughter at the phoniness of it all.
Dude, last week on this show, I put over Indy Hartwell big. Did I not?
I recall this,
because I'm
yes.
a fair man.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a fair man in telling you, what in the fuck was this match?
Awful.
Here's the thing. It's not like this was announced this afternoon. We knew about this a week ago, right? They shot the angle a week ago.
Yeah.
Okay, they're there to practice every fucking day.
Yeah. It's their job. They have nothing else to do.
Dude, what in the fuck was this match? Like, if you don't think that this match was bad, you weren't paying attention. I want you to go back and you got to watch this match. It wasn't like they botched spots, but what it was a match where they had the entire thing move for move planned out. And it was like they'd spent no time practicing because both of them, it was like all they could do was think about what the next move was.
Yep.
There was no life in this match.
No.
There was nothing resembling music between the notes. There was nothing resembling anything that you would, like, any sort of reality or whatever. It was like, stand in the ring, look at each other, do a lockup, shove me, I shove you back. Now we're going to go to the corner. Like, it was the bottom of the barrel. Moving from move to move to move with zero fucking life. And it wasn't even like it was a long match. Dude, it was like a 2-minute match or something like that. I don't know what the fuck happened here. I could not believe this match. This was such amateur hour. This was like two people that had never wrestled before. They were taught a match, like a 3-minute match, and they went in there and they like just went through the moves like it was a fucking,
I had the
gymnastics routine.
I had the same thought. I know this is neither of your first matches, but this looks like your first match.
Dude.
Yes.
What the fuck happened here?
It's funny because Indy used to have no facial expression at any time ever, period. Now what she'll do is she'll do a move with no facial expression. She will, as a mannequin, do a body slam or a chop or a slammer or something. And then the move is done, and it's like then she remembers she's supposed to show emotion, and she'll go, ha, ha, ha! And she'll stop. and be wooden again, and then do a move, and then sneer. It's the worst. It was beyond horrible. So Duke Hudson comes out to distract, I guess, Indy. Dexter comes out to distract both Persia and Duke. Indy wins with a roll-up and then leaps into her man's arms. And Indy and Persia are so desperate to prove which one is more in love, they have a smooch off, as the announcer said, which right at the point is going to get into a porn movie. That's when the goes to commercial.
Cool.
Yeah. Gigi Dolan. No, go ahead. Gigi Dolan sees one of the NXT women's tag belts perfectly posed above a dumpster. The dumpster is up, the lid is up, and it's like against the lid in the middle. And so she can't reach it without getting into the dumpster. And of course she's, ew, it's so gross in here. Oh, garbage. And then when she grabs the belt, the lid slams on top of her, and there is a forklift there to lower the lids in place. Cora Jade climbs on top of this dumpster. Remember earlier when I said there was no amulet powerful enough to make her not be a dork? Is this trash talking? I didn't know trash could speak. And she jumps down with a cocky grin, says, 2 down, 1 to go. I know the average age of this show is like 73 or something, but
63.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, it feels like Nickelodeon. It's a terrible show. We get Raul Mendoza versus Dominic Mysterio. The wrestling match was really good. Up to this point, by far the best thing on the show. The commentators are like, man, can you imagine the butterflies Raul Mendoza must have facing Dominic Mysterio? Like, no, actually I can't. He's been wrestling since Dominic was 9. I'm sure he's fine. So, Elektra interferes for the heat when Fallon Henley gets in her face.
Excuse me, did you say Fallon Henley?
I'm pretty sure that I got it right this time.
Yes, that's her name.
It's not Hayden Falley or anything. She's there with her redneck buddies. They even the odds. And here was the tease, because Rey Mysterio hauls off and punches Santos Escobar. And if we get that match with any kind of time on any kind of show, all of this will be worth it. And Dominic wins with a 619 on the Frog Splash.
Yeah. Then Fallon Henley celebrates with BJ and JB.
Mm-hmm. Brooks and Briggs.
Brooks Jensen and Josh Briggs.
Yeah. We get the Scott Hall tribute video, which I assume was just a slightly modified version of his Hall of Fame video. There is a point in here where we go to Kevin Nash. And it reminded me of something you wrote in Figure 4 Weekly many, many, many years ago. And you were talking about how it's very important to get if you need a dork for a storyline, you can find anyone.
Yes,
because anyone can go be a dork. Whereas if you need a cool person, you have to find an actual cool person. Because not everyone can be a cool person. If they did, they'd be cool, right?
Well, yeah, that's true.
And Kevin Nash said
I was intelligent.
Almost word for word the same thing here. You can't teach someone to be cool. Scott was always cool. And it's the whole Razor Ramon, Scott Hall tribute, and there's the IC title and the bad guy and all the promos, the NWO and all this. And I must be that guy if they tell you that Shawn and Razor was the first ladder match in WWE history. That is not true. Shawn and Brett had one in 1992. It's out there. The whole thing is online if you want to go find it. Cora Jade finds Mandy's new Range Rover. Do you know how I know this? Because Cora Jade walked out and said, it's Mandy's new Range Rover. So she's got her spray paint and the belt, and she can't bring herself to spray paint the belt because it's the belt she wants. She goes to steal the car instead.
Have we even brought up what a fucking thief she is? She stole 3 belts, and now she's going to steal a fucking car.
This is much worse.
A car.
A car. A nice car. A new Range Rover.
Yeah.
I know this because she said it's Mandy's new Range Rover, so she knew it. So she gets in the car, and the camera's in the car, and then Mandy's in the car. Mandy's hiding in the back seat, Because Cora Jade is a dumb babyface, and Mandy outsmarted her.
I'm not sure she's a dumb babyface.
I don't know.
She's an evil thief who got what was coming to her.
I guess you're right.
Am I wrong?
I guess you're right.
She stole 3 belts and a fucking brand new Range Rover. That's not a babyface.
So Mandy's beating her up while cutting a promo on her, which is not much better than the promos Jay's been cutting all night. You're not at my level. You don't deserve a championship match. And in a Scott Hall tribute, tagged her with a spray paint.
Yeah, what a tagging. She just sprayed a line on her
Silver
back.
circle, yes. And then I guess Jade and Gigi were there too. I guess they got out, so there you go. The Creeds hit the ring. Last week they were blindsided before they could win the tag team titles. Until we find out who did it, bodies will fly and heads will roll. I've seen these Creeds wrestle.
I was going to say, I'd be worried.
So nothing's going to change. Because I've seen them wrestle. After they find out who did it, bodies will still fly, heads will still roll.
You know, this is the lowest amount of, I can't even say praise. It's not praise at all. Listen, I enjoy watching the Creed brothers matches when people aren't, at risk.
Yes.
I would be scared shitless if I had to have a match with them.
Oh, God. Oh, hell no.
I'd probably quit.
Yeah, don't, that's no good.
You do not want that reputation.
No.
I'll just put it that way.
No, you don't.
You must take care of your opponents.
Mm-hmm.
They must not be afraid for their lives when they are booked opposite you.
So MSK comes out wearing NWO shirts and got a hey yo in their promo at some point.
Twice.
Well, crowd
Still
chanting.
got booed.
Yeah, crowd chanting bullshit them. So these two teams are bickering until Imperium shows up to bury both of them. You know, funny thing about NXT, they're really good at booking brave, courageous take on all comers champions
Yeah.
who are bad guys.
Yeah.
Carmelo comes and says, I want a ladder match against 4 guys. Imperium comes out here and the champions challenges both teams to a 3-way tag team title match at Stand and Deliver.
See, the thing with Carmelo is I don't mind, one heel who he's so cocky that he's like, fuck, I'm so above everybody else. I'll take on 6 guys. I'll beat all of them. Because it'll bite him in the ass in the end at some point. But when every single one of your heels
Yes.
is a valiant fighting babyface, that's kind of weird.
Yeah. McKenzie goes to interview Cameron Grimes. And here we are again. He lost his match tonight, so he won't be in the North American ladder match. Okay, fine. But now this means he won't be on Stand and Deliver at all.
I presume he's getting a partner.
He's very sad. He says,
Perhaps a kid.
I'm going to be on my couch watching Stand and Deliver. I vowed to my dying father that I was going to NXT, I'd be a champion. And 3 years later, I just keep disappointing him, and he sulks and he leaves.
Wow. I mean, he's got to be in one of the matches, right?
I'm pretty confident, Brian, that somewhere on Stand and Deliver, they'll find a spot for Cameron Grimes.
Well, bro, they're out of spots, so he's got to be added to a match. That's what's happening here.
Again, they have one story, which is that their biggest stars can't get on their biggest show. Anyway, Malcolm Bivens is quizzing other teams about who attacked the Creeds. The Creeds show up. Everyone shouts at each other for a while. Somehow it ends with the Creeds challenging the grizzled young veterans for next week. It's LA Knight versus Dolph Ziggler in the main event.
I thought it was a good match.
Final match. It was a good match. It's funny watching LA because he's such a throwback. Because he's trying to wrestle exactly like The Rock. And it's just, there's FTR is a throwback, but there's a charm to it. Like they're bringing back the best stuff of the past. LA Knight is just a Rock tribute act. And it's just the same stuff. I feel like I'm watching a match from 20 years ago. So they're doing this, and it's an NXT main event. And they've already teased. In fact, they show Braun Breaker arrive at the building. But I'm like, okay, they're going to do whatever, and Braun's going to interfere for the DQ. Because it's always a DQ in the main event of NXT. Now, 4 hours ago when Braun showed up, the Army was there to stop him from getting to the ring. But he shows up during the main event. No one lifts a finger. No one stands. No one protests. He parks right up at the door. He walks into the building. It's evident. Of course, he's going to interfere in this match. It'll be a DQ. And I'm watching this, And then he gets a couple of near falls. He gets like a spicy drop from Curry Man, but Dolph gets the ropes. And then LA misses a corner charge. And Dolph super kicks him. And Dolph pinned him. A clean finish in an NXT main event.
Because it's WWE, and like, before he wins a title, let's talk about how he's a loser, and let's beat him on every fucking show. Then we'll make him the champion. Now he's going to prove that he's a good wrestler.
Now he's got momentum.
Whatever.
He's building momentum.
Hey, at least they didn't beat him.
That would have been worse.
Give him that much.
Would have been worse. So then Braun arrives. He gets in Dolph's face. This is what he says. I don't want to wait for my title match. I want it at Stand and Deliver. So you're going to wait 2.5 weeks.
Well, you want to wait 3 weeks.
So Dolph accepts, and there you go. We have a main event now.
Dude, by NXT standards, with the exception of the Cora Jade stuff, which is just mind-bogglingly dumb, and the Sarai thing, and it's actually most of the show.
There were 3 good matches.
There were 3 good matches on this show.
Dolph and LA Knight was good. Dominic was good.
On NXT 2.0 to have 3 good matches.
That is a rarity.
That is a good show.
Yes. So there you go.
Yeah.
It was an above-average NXT 2.0.
I vote for NXT.
I vote for
AEW.
I vote for AEW.
Yeah.
And as above average NXT show, I still give it a thumbs down.
I wouldn't give it a thumbs down. I would give it a solid thumbs in the middle, actually slightly pointing up.
All right.
Because there aren't many weeks I get 3 good matches on NXT 2.0. And at the end of the day, I'm a fan of this whole wrestling thing.
Yes.
So if I get 3 good wrestling matches, it gets that.
There you go, then.
Yeah. All right, we're out of time, everybody. We're going to wrap it up. Sunday, still no WrestleMania. That means Rampage and our live Q&A. So that'll be a lot of fun. And that's it, everybody. We'll talk to you again after a while.
Adios.